The game is volatile, man. That's what makes it fun to watch.
It looks like we're going onto the Rift now, and it looks like it, in fact, is a Lucian mid.
Wow. Okay. This is crazy. I mean,
so
you called it. You're right with the flex, but...
Yep, he's going to try and create this priority in the Cassiopeia lane and abuse her early levels where she just doesn't have the mana pool to trade back like she'd want to. She can't really do that until she rolls up on her tier onto her last chapter and finally finishes her Archangels. That's where Cassiopeia finally turns on, and who knows, in this matchup, it might be a little too late. We have to wait and see if HH Comet is going to be able to extend the advantages that Lucian can create in lane and create enough priority for his jungler to make plays on the map.
I mean, what that really tells me is that Comet is like extremely confident. He says, Cassiopeia, I got it. I can play that. He's thinking to himself, like, I can do this. And which means he probably knows exactly what you're talking about and how to play the lane to bully her enough that he can have the lead and she'll be out of mana. But we'll just have to see how that plays. Because, again, on paper, in reality, I mean, who knows? Anything can happen.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what this bot lane for University of Oregon is going to look like and how they interact with Samira. Because with the way they were picked and how they were selected after the Samira was locked in for University of Washington, we can assume that this is their direct answer to Samira. They know that University of Washington popped off with this exact pick last week, and they had to come in prepared.
Absolutely. I mean, if they didn't prepare, I mean, we're just going to see a repeat of last week.
Wow, you're
coming in with that level 2 game. Oh, it's big. Swain wants to burn flash, and he still dies for first blood. Tell me, Samira, that's not what you want to see. Oh, my.
University of Oregon might have thought this lane would be an answer to Samira, but it apparently isn't an answer to Nunu.
Damn, level 2 gank? I mean, that Swain burned his flash, and he still died to the Samira for first blood. I mean, you can't ask for a more perfect start for your bot lane, especially, like, you know, your jungler just put in so much work already, you know? Wow.
Yep, not only did Oshawott get this early kill, but he got the entire first 2 minion waves, while the University of Oregon, their bot lane just lost so much golden XP to that tower. They were just able to hard shove the waves so fast and just have all that gold disintegrate.
Wow, I mean, that's just really just perfect play from Washington right there. Taking advantage of their draft and their confidence as a team to make that play happen.
You really couldn't ask for a better start in the bot lane. But also Washington is creating an advantage in the top lane where Ornn is already up double the CS onto the Singe, where he's now knocking on Singe's turret at minute 3.
Yeah, I mean, that right there, I mean, that's Ornn, baby.
Yep, it looks like he played aggressively, but now he's going to get punished for pushing up too
Ornn's
far.
Grounded. Trundle's coming in. Singe is losing. It looks like Ornn's going down. Ornn spends his flash. Trundle spends his flash. Gets the cleanup on Ornn. And Singed makes it away, but it does have to burn his flash, so...
Yep, Mario Cool 4 got a little too aggressive there, trying to fish for the searing charge kill onto the Singe so that he would get out of that gank 1-for-1, but it just didn't turn up for him. And instead, now he is not only down a kill, but now he's down his flash. This might spell doom for Mario Cool later on into the lane. Maybe Trundle come back for a repeat gank.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very dangerous position to be in. I don't envy it at all.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out is that both Nunu and Trundle spent some of their early time getting ganks into their lanes and getting their laners ahead. However, Trundle is up 2 camps on the Nunu, which is... It's definitely curious to see, but now...
Lucian's going in playing aggressive posture, low on HP, forced to flash. And she's also out of mana. I mean, that is really what you want with Lucian, is you want to make them burn those flashes, because guess what? Next time they won't have to flash. And Nunu coming in bottom with the ball. Swain caught out, pulled in, he's rooted, low HP, and that is another kill for Oshawott.
Oh man, watching Samira really is just so disgusting, because, you know, missing the death sentence there made the kill a little more risky for the side of University of Washington, forcing Samira to dash under Oregon's turret. However, Samira dash on a takedown, it's reset, so she dashes in, gets the kill, dashes straight out, doesn't even take a turret shot.
Wow, that's just really knowing your character's limits right there. You know, Oshawott just pushed his character all the way. Gotta respect that. Looks like Sen's just going to invade for a ward here, but I don't think he's gonna do anything else. He spins the boom plant.
Yep, getting vision onto the Nunu will help his jungler get a feel for where Nunu is at this point in the game and for the next minute and a half. So it'll give Trundle essential information to maybe go on invades to try and set Nunu behind. And it looks like Thresh is roaming onto the mid lane where he might have thrown a death sentence there, but it looks like it didn't turn up for University of Washington, and now Thresh is just sitting in mid lane, maybe soaking a little XP, proccing his relic.
Wow, this is crazy. Oshawott's got his BF sword. I mean, BF sword, boots, and a long sword.
It looks like Nunu's going for a gank in the top lane.
Okay, Singe just trying to make his way. Oh, he dodges the boulder. Looks like he's going to make it out. But he's actually looking to turn. I mean, they've got Trundle here. Trundle's going on Nunu. Okay, Oran's got the knockup, tosses back. Oran's in a little bit of trouble here, stuck in the puddle. Same with Nunu. Okay, it looks like they're both going to make it out just fine.
Yep, intelligently using the Trundle pillar against him, using it as a structure to knock him up on, and then Nunu able to proc his phase rush to easily run away from that 2v2.
Yeah, Trundle is going to get the scuttle for free, though.
Yep, further setting this Nunu behind, and it looks like real Nico J is getting an advantage in this matchup. However, this looks like that's the only place getting an advantage. Getting gone on by Trundle top right now.
Oh, wow, look at that. Trundle just... I mean, you know, that was just really high skill from the Singe. Singe saw Trundle was coming up, put him over his back, and then Trundle just went to town. Exactly. Not much you can do against that with Ornn.
And that's the pain of losing your flash so early for Ornn, because he's unable to run away from that gank. His flash is already down. He's like a sitting duck at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta take it. I mean, Washington over here is trying to take Dragon, so at least they get something out of that. I mean, first Dragon, hey, that's nice. You know, you got a nice little Ocean Dragon. But I mean, dang, it hurts. It hurts to have that happen to your top lane like that.
Yep, now the game is in an interesting point because there are clearly identifiable weak points for either side of the team where Washington want to play through their broad priority right now because they just got so ahead so early, but also maybe Trundle wants to keep re-ganking the top side of University of Washington because that's where he has already gotten advantages and potentially will be able to continue to. And it looks like the neutral point for this game has been the mid lane. The CS is about even, with Lucian maybe finding a bit of an edge, but Cassio's given the opportunity to slowly scale up. Now she has her tier, so her mana pool isn't as damaged, but Trundle was able to use his advantage on the top side to go grab the red buff and is trying to get Ornn again.
Okay, Singe is going on Ornn, and Trundle's coming up here. They're trying to make a play happen. Okay, flipped him over, knocked him back. Looks like he's safe.
Yep, a little slow on that pillar there from Trundle, so he wasn't able to block Ornn's searing charge, and he's able to get away scot-free. Luckily for Ornn, he is not set even farther behind. And it looks like Nunu's just rolling his snowball through mid lane, trying to pass quickly into Trundle's bot side jungle because he knows Trundle took his red buff and he's trying to take his back, but it actually looks like Nunu isn't prioritizing the red buff and is instead just going for the Raptors.
Looks like Lucian's moving in. I think he knows what's going on right now.
Yep. It looks like they're trying to collapse onto the Nunu. Nunu just gets away scot-free. And the bot lane is, again, perma-pushing and using their priority. They just got
another plate. Oh, yeah. And they're going to back out. I mean,
that gold differential is crazy. And we've got a 50 CS up, 2 kills up on the Samira. She's already 2k gold ahead.
I think the Swain pick was a little greedy. I think that was a little greedy.
Yeah, I think I agree there. I think they got really set behind on that level 1 from the Nunu, and they just aren't able to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to snowball that with Swain, or else it's just pretty underwhelming. I mean, he doesn't really have escapes, and you have to be able to play aggressive to get value. But if they have more damage than you, you can't play aggressive because you'll just die.
Oh, looks like
okay, 56 Knights is coming down here. Okay, Thresh is here looking for a hook. He lands it on Alistar. Pops his ultimate. Alistar's low on health. Pops his flash. Okay. Oshbot pops his flash, and now he's going on Swain, but Swain has his ult up, so he's got the regeneration. In top lane, Nunu actually takes out the Singe with a gank. So Washington is now up 3 kills on Oregon.
Yep, that was the unfortunate reality of all the Trundle pressure up in the top lane resulted in only kills for Trundle. So he was the only one getting an advantage, and Singe was never able to come up onto Orange, so the second Trundle wasn't there.
Oh, okay, Oshbot just dives Swain under tower, and 56 Knights just totally okay.
I think win or lose, Oregon bans Samira next game. Case
Absolutely.
closed.
I mean, you know, on that dive, 56 Knights did actually use up his stopwatch, so I mean, that's something, but I mean, hey, better use it. I mean, you know, it had value, so yeah, just use it, right?
Exactly.
Better to, you know, use it than not.
But that said, game nowhere near over. We're only at a 3k gold deficit for the side of Oregon, and, you know, mid lane remaining neutral. Singe isn't doing too bad.
Maybe not anymore. Alistar's going in, but no, it looks like they're just gonna... They're not really trying to play it super aggressive. They're just basically just both of them are CSing. I can't help but notice that Samir has an Essence Reef.
Yeah,
that's pretty big. And the F sword, Essence Reef and Beef Sword at 11 minutes. Like, that's just pretty big.
Yeah, she can kind of run over anyone that she wants right now. She has accelerated so quickly into this game. And
56 Knights is dewarding, but not gonna go for anything.
Yeah, the second, like, Essence Reaver is already huge, but the second Samira gets onto this IE, she's going to be an unstoppable force. I mean, no amount of people will be able to stop her. As long as she has Thresh by her side, she can just 2v5.
Yeah, I'm a little bit like unsure about this Lucian, right? Because I mean, he wants to be ahead early, but he's kind of training with Cassiopeia, and I'm pretty sure Cassiopeia is way stronger late game than Lucian.
She can be. One interesting build that has come up this season is where Lucian is building Mana Immune, so when he takes into his more mana, and then he itemizes into more AD, where he'll get Essence Reaver, and then IE, he actually hits like a truck late game.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, so he doesn't scale as poorly as he used to when he used to itemize into like Black Cleaver, Blade of the Ruined King. He scales a lot better now, and hopefully... If Oregon want any chance of winning this game, they've really got to start putting their eggs into the Lucian basket, because one person that definitely can't solo carry a game is a Trundle. He can create advantages, he can try and get these neutral objectives, but there's no way he can match the carry potential of a Samira.
Yeah, it's not like Swain really has carry potential for his team, especially when he didn't win his lane. His lane's going pretty rough, actually. He's 0-3, he's down a whopping 70 CS, almost 80 CS down. That's kind of unheard of, to be honest. But it happens. I mean, when you pick a greedy pick like Swain and you take it and you die early, I mean, you can't really come back from that.
Yeah, exactly. A really insane deficit, because not only that 70, 80 CS deficit, but we've also got 4 kills, we've also got a tower, all the platings. It's looking like doomsday for that bot lane.
Oh, Trundle's in a little bit of trouble here. Almost popping his ult. He bucks into the air. Okay, he spends the flash to go over the wall. Oh, but Cassiopeia is looking to make a little bit of a play, but nothing happens. Yeah, Trundle was forced to use his flash there. I mean, he greeted that for the red buff. I mean, could be worth it.
Yep. Now the question is, what happens next? Now that Samira is unlocked onto the map, where's she going to go? And it looks like she's sitting in the top lane tri-bush.
Nunu is looking to gank middle with the snowball. It's not going to find its mark because HH Comet's paying attention to his map.
It looks like Samira's trying to lane gank the top lane, where they're going to try and make something happen onto this Singe. Singe doesn't know that he's there, and instead he thinks he's 1v1ing the Ornn.
Oh, big mistake. Samir with a huge cleanup. Yeah, he got baited. He got baited big time.
And what a great bait by Mario Cool 4.
It looks like there's like a 3-on-3 going up here. Looks like Walking actually has 4 in the top lane right now. They're looking to just dive. Blue Burglar's trying to run away right now on his Alistar, but he's actually deciding to commit with the Trundle's help, but that's going to be a mistake. There's 4 people on Trundle. He's not going to out-heal that. He's gone. I mean, as strong as Trundle is, he's not going to 1v4. Not this early and not with no items. Okay, hook on Lucian. Lucian tries to dash away, but he fails. drops the ultimate. He pops his. He gets come across flashing ult. It's not enough. Alistar pops the ulti. UW goes down. 56 Knights goes down. Okay, Lucian does die, but at what cost? Oshawott coming in hot with a triple kill. Look at that. Jesus. He showed up. Oshawott showed up at just the right time to just make that play. I mean, he cleaned up 3 people in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, exactly. If Samira weren't so far ahead, that might actually have gone into University of Oregon's favor, because that was a bit of an aggressive play by 56 Knights. He hooks on into 3 people, lanterns the Nunu in, and then they start losing the fight. They get exploded immediately. But then there's enough time for the Samira to walk down and just annihilate the remaining fight.
Yeah, I mean, that was just that's just a little brutal. That's pretty brutal, to be honest. I mean, it was looking pretty good for Oregon, but the second the Samira showed up, they just melted, honestly.
Yep.
She is really ahead right now, especially for an ADC.
Yeah, and on the back of that triple kill and getting another tower to her name, all that gold onto her alone, she's got the IE.
Wow. 16 minutes to have, Greaves, IE, Essence Reaver? Ouch.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say. Ouch.
I can only imagine the gold differential solely between Samira and Swain. It's gotta be insane at this point. She has to have double, if not more, Swain's gold.
Yeah, and, sorry, continue.
No, you go for it.
So I think a pretty big problem I'm seeing right now with Oregon's draft, they don't really have a way to burst the Samira. Like, they don't have any huge hitters. They have like sustained damage and catch, but they don't have like like an Orianna that can just blow someone up with Shockwave. They don't have that.
Yeah, I agree.
So how are they gonna stop her?
They've got a lot of weak damage that she can just lifesteal her way through. The only lockdown that Oregon has is the Alistar WQ combo. But even then, that's only one form of quick CC.
Yeah, they have a bunch of sustained damage, but they don't have any heavy burst. So, I mean, that's exactly like what you want as an ADC, because you could just kind of like lifesteal. It doesn't matter if you're taking sustained damage, because you're going to hit way harder than them. The best, because ADCs, they're always very weak. So if you have a strong assassin that's maybe not doing so well, you can almost always still kill the ADC and come back if you position right, But they don't really have that on the side of Oregon, so it's looking like a pretty difficult game, if I'm being honest.
True, a 6k gold deficit at 17 minutes is definitely nothing to stick your nose up at. And having it basically all on the Samira is really difficult, but it also gives Oregon a very concentrated way to fight against Washington. If Samira's down, or if she's away from a fight, they've got a chance.
Right. So really, the onus is on Washington to lose this game. Because if Samira doesn't play properly, they lose. But I think if they play as a team around Samira, I don't really see how Oregon's coming back into this game, if I'm being quite honest. Like, most of the time, like I said, you have an assassin that can blow up the ADC, but they don't have that right now. So I really feel like Washington has to make a mistake here. Otherwise, I think it's in the bag.
Yeah, I think the only way that...
Hey, hooked on... Okay. Sin just hooked up. He flips 56 Knights over, taking tower damage. Oh, he's really... He's gonna live! With a slew of HP, 56 Knights picked it out. On the other hand, he's ready for his life right now. Red team, Snake's Dragon, with this re-engaging right now. Cassiopeia coming in from the top. Nunu's got the snowball, but nothing's gonna happen. Cassiopeia's in. Oh, got big damage coming out right now. Cassiopeia taking a lot of damage. She will actually go down to the Swain. But now, that's who showed up. It's Josh. Oh, wow. Lucian with a double kill. That's actually very good for him. And they actually managed to kill the ADC, which she doesn't have any life. Like, she doesn't have any good life steal right now, which is why they were actually able to do that.
That was exactly what I was talking about, is that Oregon has a chance in this game if they can shut this Samira up. If they can lock her down, finally find kills onto her like they just did, and get her shut money, they can find a way back into this game. The best case scenario for them just happened, where they finally got kills onto this Lucian, and now he's going to get this mid-turret gold on his own. He can find a way to accelerate back into this game and potentially match the Samira.
Yeah, you see the first thing Oshawott picked up? Vamp Scepter, because why? He needs the lifesteal. He didn't have it in that fight because, you know, he was greedy. He tried to fight without backing first. No reset, so he didn't have lifesteal. And he just kind of melted for it because he couldn't out-heal the sustained damage because he just was relying on his, you know, his runes, which aren't going to give him that much.
Yeah, now we can tell with the Vamp Scepter and the Cloth Armor buy that Oshawa is trying to build into the Death Stance here. And once he hits the Death Stance, he might be an unkillable monster, but maybe not if Lucian has anything to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on Oregon's side, you have to hope that Lucian, you know, does enough damage to shut her down. Death Stance is a really good item, so we'll see.
Another condition that I think Oregon have, or at least a way to throw a wrench into this game, create chaos that will force Washington into a mistake, is on the back of this Singed. If he out macros this Ornn goes on to rotates to his team on a bad play, and Singed might get the chance to push out waves and force Ornn into a bad situation. Maybe he makes his way over to Washington's base and starts holding up minion waves. Singed might be able to create enough chaos going on and force Washington into a situation where they have to create a decision where they either catch waves, catch turret crashing, or they go onto a neutral objective and they make the wrong decision. Oregon might win.
Oh, absolutely. I think after those last two fights, I think there really is a chance. Okay, Nunu's going on the Singed. Singed is in a really bad spot right here. 3 people converging on him, and yeah, God Jungle is going to take out Itaru. Pretty much nothing you can do about that Singed. Okay, HH's Comet getting gone up by Cassiopeia, forced to pop his ultimate there.
That is what I was talking about earlier in draft, where the Lucian versus Cassio matchup starts looking a little difficult when Cassio
Alistar's coming up behind. Oh, no, they decide not to go. All right.
It's when Cassiopeia actually uses her miasma proactively to stop the Lucian dash instead of where she was using it in lane, where she was throwing it on top of him after Lucian had already used his dash.
Right. Because if you lock him down, I mean, he's going to have a lot of trouble. Which is why he had to pop his ultimate to keep her from just like walking at him. Because you can't take that damage. It's too much.
Exactly.
And you can't dash, so you have to pop the ultimate to make some space so you can escape.
And in the way where Samira is able to... It is definitely less contested by Oregon with CC, where they don't have a lot of on-demand CC. On the side of Washington, they do. They make Lucian's job very difficult, not only with the miasma, but with the Nunu Snowball, the Thresh Death Sentence, Flay, Box, Ornn, everything. He's got a lot of CC to work through, and him dashing around and moving around the fight is going to be really difficult.
Well, what's going on here? Oshawa in trouble. Wow, that Lucian was putting in damage.
Yep, the Lucian culling damage is definitely a lot, but Lucian will start hitting a lot harder once he finally evolves his Manamune into his Muramana, because then we can start seeing bonus about maybe 50, 60 AD on all of his attacks.
Oh yeah, it's nothing to scoff at. I mean, it's some real damage.
And we just hit Muramana as we're starting to fight for this dragon, where Washington are on soul point right now for Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, Washington's kind of had a lot of... Every dragon's been pretty free from them. Okay, Nuna's looking to initiate double knockup on the airborne. Orton knocking the horn out. Okay, looks like a stopwatch popped. Itaru in a lot of trouble. Itaru's going down. Okay, Trundle looked up. He's dead. They don't have an ADC on Washington's side. I don't know what they're going to do. Bluebird going on Alistar. Trying to run away. 56 Knights is going in. Okay, only got to pick up on Alistar. But now, knock up. Is it going to be safe? 56 Knights trying to run away. Kiting. Trundle trying to make it out of there. God Jungle nothing to do anything. Okay, tries to commit on the orb, but just doesn't get him. That was a really good fight on Washington's side, especially considering they lost their ADC at the beginning of that fight.
Yeah, exactly. Where Samira died really early into that fight, the Cassiopeia just started doing so much work. She front-loaded so much damage into the champions on the side of Oregon, where she just really tore through them, and Lucian was stuck in his own backline, kind of just watching his teammates fade away in front of his eyes. He felt the need to go deep on the Cassiopeia, where he did. He got the Cassiopeia, but all of a sudden, he was in melee range of Ornn, Nunu, and Thresh, and once he dashed in, there was no way of him getting out.
Yeah, that is not a place you want to be. It's brutal. It's like a blender, man. You walk in there and you're not coming out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't really see a lot else Lucian could have done there. That's just kind of the reality of being so far behind as a team.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
like
it's hard.
At this point, it feels like Oregon are kind of fighting 4v5 because the Swain just doesn't put out enough damage because he's just so far behind. He alone is, what is that, 6k gold behind the Samira, but now they pick her in the top lane.
I mean, HH Comet's been putting in work. He's picked the Samira like 3 times now.
Yeah, it looks like Oshawott might
all
be
3 of her deaths are...
Because he just doesn't have the Thresh on his side at all times.
He's playing a little confident. I mean, he's got Infinity Edge and he's got the Bloodthirster, so he's playing a little cocky, I think. He underestimated Lucian's damage output for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that disrespect, I mean, you gotta respect the damage.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting. He opted to sell the cloth armor that he bought earlier and instead go into the Bloodthirster so that instead of the reduced, instead of the, what is it, damage being converted into bleed that Death's Dance gives you, giving you a chance to heal it back, instead he's getting the shield from the Bloodthirster and the increased AD over getting cooldown from the Death's Dance.
Is Ornn gonna go into Trundle? Looks like they might try for something here. Okay, Rooted on the Nunu. Ornn looks like he's going in Alistar, pops his ultimate. A lot of incoming here. Okay, unstoppable. Rooted up on the Trundle. Okay, Threshold pops. What going down? He's dealing a lot of damage. He's healing. Oh, that's a triple kill. Maybe a quadra? No, looks like he'll just get the triple. Nobody gets the quadra. He got the swing. And the transition straight to Baron. Man, that healing from Oshawott was insane in that fight. Yeah, holy cow. I thought he was going to die, but he made it. He healed it all back.
Oshawott went so deep on that Lucian and completely exploded him because he's not only fed Samira, he doesn't just have Essence, i.e. Bloodthirster, he also has Infernal Soul now. He basically just has a Ludens built into his kit, just extra AD, exploding the Lucian, and it was just over so fast.
And you know, he's got Executioner's Calling, just cuz. Hey, why not? Insult to injury right there.
Yeah, there's definitely limited healing on the side of Oregon, where, you know, you've got the Swain, who isn't really a threat. You've got the Trundle passive, where it doesn't exactly do too much in fights, so it's definitely curious to see, but you can expect more lifesteal to come out later in these builds, maybe where anticipating Lucian to get some lifesteal. But regardless, Executioner's Calling will end up building into the Mortal Reminder, where Oshawott will get that armor penetration, which will be oh so useful.
Oh yeah, it's a good item.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Oshawott's he's just shown the power of a ADC. I mean, he is just putting in work. I mean, he made a few mistakes and died to Lucian, but he really just brought it back in that fight for his team. I mean, he basically just soloed that whole team.
Yeah,
honestly.
And where Lucian started getting fed, started getting back in the game, that gave Lucian a shutdown, where Oshawott said, okay, more gold for me to take. Now I'm 8k gold up on the Swain.
Oh yeah, that is a big lead.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming more and more dire. It really comes down to losing that Infernal Soul fight for Oregon, because they had a way back into the game, but blundering that fight, it might be the death of University of Oregon in game 1. And you gotta wonder, or you gotta hope that they really change up their draft going into the next game.
Initiation right now from the Sage. Flips over the Nunu. Oregon coming in big time. All right, big damage on Triplet. Pops his ultimate. Blue Burglar's going down. Alistar's dead. Okay, looks like Oshawott's going ham again. Ornn's going down, but pressure kill Oshawott. He is putting in mad damage.
Yeah, that was gross. In that fight, he just sat in his backline, building up his style meter onto the Alistar, onto the Trundle. The second that was up, he just flash R's into Lucian's face, and he's gone in an instant. And that's going to be game for
that was
University
disgusting.
of Washington.
it was looking kind of good for Oregon there. Then Oshawott said, I will proc my ultimate ability. And they just disappeared. I mean, that's crazy.
That's the danger